Blood Moon, King of Beasts. Chapter 1. The Man Who Died Powerless. The night the world ended was strangely quiet. No explosions, no sirens, no warning, just a moon turning red. Chen remembered it clearly, too clearly. The cold wind brushing against his face, the distant sound of screams, the metallic scent of blood thick in the air. Roads swallowed by vines that hadn't existed hours ago. And above it all, a crimson moon hung in the sky like an open wound. At first people thought it was some kind of natural phenomenon. A lunar eclipse, a rare astronomical event, something explainable, something harmless. They were wrong. It began with itching, a faint irritating sensation under the skin. "Do you feel that?" someone had asked. Chen had ignored it. Everyone did, until it got worse. The itch turned into pain, the pain turned into burning, and then something broke. People started screaming. Some collapsed, some convulsed, some changed. Chen had been one of the unlucky ones. No lightning, no fire, no super strength, nothing. While others awakened abilities, control over elements, enhanced bodies, strange supernatural powers, he remained the same. Weak, useless, human. That was when the real nightmare began. The animals. It started small. Dogs snapping at their owners, cats attacking in packs, birds crashing into buildings like guided missiles. Then it escalated. Bears the size of trucks, wolves moving faster than cars, snakes that could crush steel, and insects. God, the insects. Chen had seen a swarm of ants strip a man to bones in seconds. Not dozens, not hundreds, millions, each one the size of a thumb, mandibles tearing through flesh like paper. Didn't stand a chance. Cities fell within days. Governments collapsed. The world turned into a battlefield where humans were no longer at the top. But in that chaos, a new rule emerged. Contracts. Some humans discovered they could form bonds with animals. Not control them, not enslave them, but connect with them. Share strength, share evolution. Those people became something else. Beast tamers. Chen had seen one of them. A man known as the Boar King. 300 pigs, that's all he had. But after evolution, those pigs became monsters. Massive, armored, unstoppable. With them, he carved out territory. With them, he became a king. And Chen, he ran. He scavenged. He hid. He survived. Barely. Until the day he didn't. It happened in a ruined forest. The sky still red. The air thick with death. Chen had been starving, weak, exhausted, alone. That's when he saw it. A tiger. No, not just a tiger. A monster. Its body was enormous, easily 5 times the size of a normal tiger. White fur stained with blood. Eyes glowing like burning coals. Each step cracked the ground beneath it. Each breath felt like a storm. Chen couldn't move, couldn't run, couldn't even scream. The tiger stared at him, not like prey, not like a predator, like something else. Then it spoke, not with sound, but directly into his mind. Too weak. Those were the last words Chen ever heard. The world went black, and then he woke up, gasping, sweating, alive. Chen shot up from his bed, heart pounding violently against his chest. The room was quiet, clean, normal. No blood, no destruction, no red sky. Just sunlight filtering through the window. He froze. Slowly, carefully, he looked around. The familiar layout, the untouched furniture, the faint hum of the city outside. His hands trembled. His voice cracked. Before the apocalypse. The realization hit him like lightning. He stumbled out of bed and rushed to the window. Cars moved along the road. People walked casually on the streets. Everything was peaceful. Too peaceful. Chen clenched his fists. His breathing grew heavy. He remembered everything. Every death. Every moment of helplessness. And that tiger. His eyes hardened. If this is real. His voice was low, steady, dangerous. Then I won't die like that again. He turned, grabbing his phone. His mind was already moving, planning, calculating. The blood moon would come. That was inevitable. But this time, he would be ready. No, this time he would stand at the top, not as prey, but as something far more terrifying. Chen looked at his reflection, and for the first time, there was no fear in his eyes, only ambition. If strength decides everything, he whispered, then I'll gather enough strength to crush the world itself. And that was the beginning of a legend. Chapter 2. The First Investment, Buying Beasts. The world hadn't ended yet. That was the most dangerous part. Morning sunlight poured into the room, warm and calm, mocking everything Chen knew was coming. People were laughing outside. Traffic moved normally. News channels argued about politics, economy, celebrity scandals. Not a single mention of the blood moon. Not a single warning. Chen stood still for a long moment. Then he moved, fast. He opened his laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard. Not hesitating, not doubting. Search after search, wildlife reserves, exotic animal trade, breeding licenses, international conservation programs. Legal, illegal, gray areas. He didn't care. In his past life, he had spent months just trying to understand what was happening. This time, he skipped straight to action. If contracts are the key, he muttered to himself, then I need the strongest beasts from the very beginning. Not dogs, not cats, not small animals. Predators, because he remembered something important. Very important. Evolution didn't make everything equal. A rat that evolved was still dangerous. A wolf that evolved was terrifying. But a tiger? A tiger that evolved was a natural disaster. Chen leaned back slightly, eyes narrowing. There are less than 4,000 Siberian tigers left in the world. Rare, protected, almost impossible to legally obtain in large numbers, which made them perfect. Because in the apocalypse, scarcity meant power. He opened a spreadsheet, started writing numbers, budget, locations, transport costs, bribes, construction, food supply. Every detail, every variable, every risk. Then he stopped. Not enough. He checked his bank balance, his assets, his investments. In his current life, he wasn't poor, but he wasn't powerful either. Was ridiculous. He exhaled slowly. Then I'll make money. And unlike everyone else, he knew exactly how. Because the future, he had already seen it. Within the next 6 months, a tech company would explode in value. A pharmaceutical breakthrough would shake the market. A sudden international crisis would crash multiple stocks. To others, it was unpredictable. To him, it was a script, and he was about to play it perfectly. 3 months later, the numbers had changed, drastically. Chen stood inside a quiet office, looking at the final figure on his screen. A long string of digits, more money than he had ever imagined in his past life. He didn't smile, didn't celebrate, because money wasn't the goal. It was a tool, and now he was ready to use it. The first call was simple. I want to fund a large-scale ecological restoration project. Chen's tone was calm, professional. On the other side, the official hesitated. What kind of project? Tiger conservation. Silence. Then, you're serious? Completely. That was how it started. Paniwa Forest Park, a forgotten piece of land. Underdeveloped, underfunded, ignored. Perfect. Within weeks, construction began. Fences reinforced. Surveillance installed. Feeding zones created. Shelters expanded. But the real work was happening behind the scenes. Lu Chen sat in a dimly lit room, multiple screens glowing in front of him. Encrypted chats, foreign contacts, black market dealers. "I'll take all of them," he said coldly. "Breed doesn't matter," he continued. "Age doesn't matter. I want volume." On the other end, someone laughed nervously. "Do you even know what you're asking for?" "Yes." Lu Chen's eyes were steady. "I want every tiger you can get your hands on." Weeks turned into months. Shipments arrived quietly, carefully, hidden under layers of paperwork and deception. Some legal, many not. Cubs, young adults, injured rescues, retired zoo animals, they all came. And Lu Chen accepted them all. The first time he entered the park after the tigers arrived, he felt it. Pressure. Dozens of eyes locked onto him, watching, judging. Predators. Every single one. His body instinctively tensed. His heart rate spiked. This wasn't a zoo. This was a battlefield waiting to happen. A single mistake, and he would die. But Lu Chen didn't step back. Instead, he walked forward, slowly, deliberately. "I'm not here to control you," he murmured under his breath. "I'm here to survive with you." The tigers didn't understand his words, but instinctively, they understood something else. Intent. And Lu Chen's intent was absolute. Days passed. He learned, observed, adjusted. Feeding patterns. Territory behavior. Dominance hierarchies. Some tigers fought. Some isolated themselves. Some tried to escape. But gradually, the system stabilized. And then, the cubs arrived. Hundreds of them. Small, weak, dependent. Lu Chen personally supervised their care, fed them, stayed near them, watched them grow. Because he knew, these were his real investment. Not just beasts, future partners. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Lu Chen stood at the edge of the enclosure. A small cub approached him. Cautious, curious, didn't growl, didn't attack. Lu Chen crouched down slowly, extended his hand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the cub stepped closer, and pressed its head lightly against his palm. Lu Chen froze. A strange warmth spread through his chest. Not power, not fear, something else. Connection. He exhaled softly. "This," he whispered, "this is where it begins." Above him the sky was still blue, still peaceful, new. But it wouldn't last. Because somewhere, beyond human understanding, the blood moon was already coming. Sharp pause, and when it arrived, only those who prepared would survive. Sharp, sharp. Chapter 3. Raising the King. The first bond was the hardest, not because it required strength, but because it required patience. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Paniwa Forest Park was no longer just a project. It had become a living ecosystem. Thousands of tigers roamed across the vast enclosed terrain, each with its own territory, each with its own temperament. Some were aggressive, some were cautious, some were unpredictable. And Lu Chen? He watched them all, from observation towers, from hidden cameras, from long hours spent inside reinforced enclosures. He wasn't just managing animals, he was studying future monsters. "Strength isn't enough," he murmured one evening, eyes fixed on a screen showing two tigers fighting over prey. "Hierarchy matters." In the wild, only one rule existed: the strong ruled. But Lu Chen wasn't trying to dominate them. That would fail. He knew that from his past life. Contracts weren't forced, they were earned, and earning the trust of a tiger was like trying to hold fire in your bare hands. 3 months later, the cubs had grown. No longer tiny, fragile creatures, they now carried the early signs of power: sharper teeth, stronger limbs, instincts awakening, and among them, Chen began to notice something. Cubs were faster. Some were more aggressive. Some learned quicker. And a few were different. One night, during feeding time, it happened. The caretakers released dozens of small prey animals into the enclosure. Normally, chaos would follow. Cubs would scatter, chase, fight clumsily. But this time, everything stopped. A low growl echoed across the field. Not loud, not violent, but commanding. Every cub froze. Chen's eyes narrowed. From the shadows, something stepped forward. A cub, but not like the others. Its fur was pale, almost white, faint gray stripes barely visible under the dim light. Its movements were slow, controlled, not rushed, not excited. It walked straight toward the prey, and the others didn't dare interfere. Chen leaned forward slightly. Interesting. The cub didn't pounce wildly, didn't chase recklessly. It waited, observed. Then, in a single precise movement, it struck. Clean, efficient, deadly. The prey didn't even struggle. Silence filled the enclosure. The other cubs watched, but none moved. Not out of confusion, but out of instinct. They knew. This one was different. From that day on, Chen paid special attention to it. He reviewed footage, tracked its behavior, observed its interactions, and the more he watched, the clearer it became. This wasn't just a strong cub. It was a leader. Unlike the others, it didn't seek fights, didn't waste energy, didn't panic. But when challenged, it never lost, not once. Even older cubs, bigger cubs, eventually backed down, not because they were weaker, but because they hesitated. And hesitation was defeat. One evening, Chen made a decision. I'll raise this one myself. The staff hesitated. It doesn't behave like the others. Chen smiled faintly. That's exactly why. From that moment, everything changed. The cub was separated from the group, moved to a controlled environment, and for the first time, Chen stepped in personally. The first meeting was tense. The cub stood in the corner, watching, not afraid, not aggressive, just aware. Chen didn't move closer immediately. He sat down, a few meters away, and waited. Minutes passed. The cub didn't approach, didn't leave. It simply observed him, judging, testing. Smart, Chen whispered. In his past life, he had seen evolved beasts with intelligence rivaling humans. This one had that potential. Day after day, he returned. Same place, same distance. No sudden movements, no force, just presence. On the 5th day, the cub moved. One step forward, then another. Chen didn't react, didn't reach out. He let it come. The distance closed. 2 meters, 1 meter, half. Close enough to strike. HR. Close enough to trust. Chen slowly extended his hand. The air felt heavy, tense. The cub leaned forward slightly, sniffed. For a brief moment, everything was still. Then, it nudged his hand, lightly. Chen's breath caught. A small gesture. But in that moment, something shifted. A bond. Not complete, not stable, but real. From that day forward, the cub stayed close to him, followed him, watched him, and as it grew, so did its presence. Months passed. Its body expanded rapidly. muscles forming under sleek white fur, eyes growing sharper, more intelligent. By the end of the year, it was no longer a cub, it was a predator. No, something more. Even among thousands of tigers, it stood above all. When it walked, others moved aside. When it growled, silence followed. When it fought, it ended quickly. The king of the park. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Chen stood beside it. The wind moved through the trees. The forest quiet. The tiger sat calmly next to him. Massive, powerful, unmatched. Chen placed a hand on its head. This time, there was no hesitation. No tension. Only acceptance. "I don't need 1,000, he said softly. The tiger's golden eyes reflected the fading light. "I just need you." In the distance, the sky darkened, and far beyond human sight, something ancient began to stir. Chapter 4: Building the Fortress. Time was running out. Chen could feel it, not in the air, not in the sky, but in the quiet rhythm of the world. Everything looked normal, too normal. That was how it had been before the blood moon, before humanity collapsed. And this time, he refused to be caught unprepared. Standing at the highest point of Paniwa Forest Park, Chen overlooked the vast land he had reshaped over the past year. Dense forest, open feeding zones, reinforced enclosures, thousands of tigers moving like shadows beneath the trees. And at the center, a mountain. It wasn't natural, not entirely. Decades ago, it had been an air defense base, abandoned, forgotten, buried under layers of time and bureaucracy. To others, it was useless. To Chen, it was perfect. "Solid granite," he murmured, placing a hand against the cold rock wall. Hundreds of meters thick, dense, unyielding. In a normal world, nothing could break through it. Missiles would fail, bombs would fail, even heavy artillery would struggle. But this wasn't a normal world. Chen's expression darkened. "In the apocalypse," he said quietly, "this won't last a minute." He remembered it clearly. A colony of evolved ants. Tiny creatures, but after evolution, unstoppable. Mandibles sharp enough to cut steel. Numbers beyond comprehension. They didn't attack like animals. They consumed. Buildings, weapons, humans, everything. Even bunkers had fallen. Even fortresses had turned into graves. So Chen didn't build for defense. He built for something else. Time. Inside the mountain, construction never stopped. Heavy machinery roared day and night. Engineers worked under strict secrecy. Hallways were carved deep into the rock. Storage rooms reinforced with layered steel. Ventilation systems installed. Emergency exits hidden. At the core, a central chamber. Wide. Open. Protected from every direction. This would be his last stand. Not to hide, but to prepare. "Food reserves?" Chen asked without turning. Behind him, a staff member quickly replied, 6 months' supply secured. "Freeze storage at full capacity. AHR. Water? HR. Independent filtration system complete. Backup reserves in place. Medical? Stocked with antibiotics, surgical tools, emergency kits, everything we could acquire." Chen nodded slightly. But his expression didn't relax, because none of that would matter in the long run. Food would run out. Medicine would run out. Water could be contaminated. Only one thing truly mattered. Evolution. After the blood moon, the world changed. Energy descended. Invisible. Unexplainable. It entered everything. Humans, animals, plants. But not equally. Some adapted quickly. Some slowly. Some not at all. Those who adapted survived. Those who didn't, died. It was that simple. Chen closed his eyes briefly. In my past life, he whispered, the strong didn't win. He opened his eyes again. Cold, focused. The fast did. Speed of evolution determined everything. And there were only two ways to increase it: contracts and crystal cores. Crystal cores, the most valuable resource in the apocalypse, formed inside evolved creatures. Pure energy, condensed, absorbing them, accelerated evolution, strengthened the body, unlocked potential. But obtaining them was dangerous, because the stronger the beast, the more powerful its core, and the more deadly it became. Chen looked out over the forest again. Thousands of tigers. Future predators. Future monsters. Future sources of power. If I fail to form contracts, he said quietly, then I'll hunt them. There was no hesitation in his voice, no emotion, because he understood something clearly. In the apocalypse, sentiment was a weakness. Survival came first. A low growl echoed beside him. Chen turned slightly. The white tiger stood there, silent, massive, watching him. Its golden eyes were calm, but deep, as if it understood everything. Chen held its gaze. For a moment, neither moved. Then, he reached out, placed his hand against its head. I won't let it come to that, he said softly. This time, I'll do it right. The tiger didn't react, didn't resist, but its eyes seemed to glow faintly. Preparation continued. Security tightened. Supplies increased. And outside, the world remained unaware. People celebrated, worked, dreamed, not knowing that everything they had was about to disappear. New Year's Eve approached, the final countdown. Chen stood alone inside the central chamber of the mountain. Screens displayed real-time surveillance. Every corner of the park, every movement, every tiger. His hands rested behind his back, still, calm. But inside, his thoughts moved rapidly. This is it. No more time, no more preparation, only outcome. Above the mountain, the night sky stretched endlessly. And slowly, silently, the moon began to change. Chapter 5. The Blood Moon Descends. Midnight. The world held its breath. Chen stood in the heart of the mountain base, eyes fixed on the massive screen in front of him. A live feed of the sky. The moon. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, it shifted. Not slowly, not gradually. In a single instant, the pale white glow twisted and turned red. Deep, dark, bleeding. The blood moon had arrived. Outside, chaos erupted instantly. What the hell is that? Is this real? Why is the moon red? Voices overlapped. Fear spread like wildfire. Phones lit up. Social media exploded. But inside the base, Chen didn't move. Because he already knew. This was just the beginning. It starts now, he whispered. And right on cue, it began. An itch. Faint at first. Almost ignorable. Then stronger. Under the skin. Inside the bones. Chen's fingers twitched. His breathing slowed deliberately. Itch. Pain. Then awakening. He repeated quietly. His body trembled. The itch became burning. His muscles tightened. It felt like something was crawling through him, breaking him, rebuilding him. Hold it. He gritted his teeth. Don't lose control. Outside, screams filled the night. People collapsed onto the streets. Some clawed at their skin. Some rolled on the ground in agony. And some changed. A man's body expanded suddenly, muscles swelling beyond human limits. A woman's eyes glowed as flames flickered in her palm. Another person vanished, reappearing meters away in panic. Abilities. The world was awakening. But not everyone was lucky. Some bodies couldn't handle the energy. They twisted, broke, collapsed into lifeless shells. Evolution had a price. Inside the forest, the change was far worse. Thousands of tigers stopped moving at the same time. Then, they roared, a sound so powerful it shook the ground itself. Their bodies convulsed violently, muscles expanding, bones cracking, fur bristling with raw energy, eyes glowing. Every single one of them was evolving. Chen staggered slightly, grabbing onto a metal railing. The pain reached its peak. For a split second, he thought he would lose consciousness. Then, it flipped. The pain vanished, replaced by something else. Power. Warm. Flowing. Alive. Chen exhaled sharply. His body felt lighter, sharper, stronger. I made it. But he didn't celebrate, because something else had just begun. A presence, heavy, ancient, pressing against his mind. Chen's eyes snapped open. That feeling, he knew it, from his past life, from his death. A voice, deep, calm, terrifying, echoed inside his head. Human. Chen froze. You came back. His heart skipped. Slowly, very slowly, he turned toward the screen showing the forest. The white tiger stood at the center of the clearing. Its body had changed. Larger, far larger. Its muscles rippled like moving steel. Its white fur shimmered faintly under the red moonlight. And its eyes burned. Not like an animal. Like something intelligent. Something aware. Chen stepped closer to the screen. You remember? The tiger didn't move. But the voice came again. Clearer this time. You died. A chill ran down Chen's spine. That wasn't instinct. That wasn't evolution. That was memory. You, Chen whispered. You were there. Silence. Then, the tiger took a step forward. And the pressure in Chen's mind intensified. Weak. The same word. The same judgment. The same truth that had ended his life before. Chen clenched his fists. Yes, he said quietly. I was weak. His eyes hardened. But not anymore. The air seemed to tighten. For a moment, nothing moved. Then the tiger's gaze shifted. Not dismissive. Evaluating. Prove it. The connection snapped. Chen staggered back slightly. His heart was racing. Not from fear. From realization. This isn't just evolution, he whispered. This is something more. Outside, the world was collapsing. Cities falling into chaos. Governments losing control. Humanity breaking apart. But inside Paniwa Forest Park, something else was happening. Something far more dangerous. A king had awakened, and it wasn't alone. Chen steadied himself. A slow smile formed on his face. Not nervous, not uncertain, excited. Good, he said softly. That's exactly what I wanted. Because in this new world, strength alone wasn't enough. You had to earn it, fight for it, prove it. And Chen was ready. Chapter 6. First Contract. The Trial of the White Tiger. Silence never lasted long in the new world. Not after the blood moon. Inside the mountain base, alarms flickered across multiple screens. Outside, the forest had turned restless. Roars, crashes, movement everywhere. Evolution had begun, and it wouldn't stop. But Chen ignored all of it, because right now only one thing mattered. The white tiger. He stepped out of the base, alone. The cold night air hit his face immediately. The red moon bathed everything in a dim, unnatural glow. The forest was no longer the same. Trees seemed taller, shadows deeper, the air heavier, and the presence of predators was overwhelming. Every instinct in Lu Chen's body screamed at him to go back, to hide, to survive. But he kept walking, step by step toward the center of the park, toward the king. Branches cracked under his feet. Distant growls echoed. Pairs of glowing eyes flickered in the darkness. Tigers, watching him, waiting. Lu Chen didn't stop, didn't look away, because he knew. Hesitation now meant death. The clearing appeared, and there, standing beneath the blood moon, was the white tiger. It was massive now, far beyond anything natural. Its body towered over the ground, muscles coiled with explosive power. Its fur shimmered like silver under red light, and its eyes, locked onto him instantly, came. The voice echoed in Lu Chen's mind. No sound, no movement, but clear. Lu Chen stepped forward. I said I would. The tiger didn't respond immediately. It circled slowly, each step heavy, measured, like it was examining prey, or perhaps judging a challenger. Humans break. The voice came again. Weak minds, weak bodies. Lu Chen stopped, met its gaze. I already died once, he said calmly. I don't plan on doing it again. For a moment, there was silence. The pressure hit. Lu Chen's vision blurred, his body froze. Something invisible crushed against his mind. Heavy, violent, overwhelming. This was the real test, the will of a king. His knees trembled. His breathing became unstable. Images flooded his mind. Blood, death, fear, his past life, his helplessness, his final moment. You are weak, the voice echoed again. Still weak. Lu Chen gritted his teeth. No. His fingers clenched tightly. That's exactly why I came back. The pressure increased. It felt like his mind was being torn apart, like something was trying to crush his consciousness entirely. This was the truth of contracts. Not control, not submission. Recognition. To form a contract, the beast had to accept you. And for that, you had to prove one thing. That you were worthy. Lu Chen took a step forward. Even as his body screamed, even as his vision shook, he moved. I'm not asking you to follow me, he said, voice low but steady. I'm asking you to fight with me. The tiger stopped. Its eyes narrowed slightly. The pressure didn't disappear, but it changed. Less crushing, more focused, like a blade instead of a hammer. Why? The voice asked. Lu Chen didn't hesitate. Because this world is broken. His voice grew sharper. Because everything is going to die. Another step forward. And because I refuse to be at the bottom again. Silence. The forest itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, the tiger moved. In an instant, it was in front of him. Fast. Too fast. Lu Chen didn't even see it move. A massive claw slammed into the ground, right beside his head. The impact shattered the earth. If it had been just a few centimeters closer, he would be dead. Prove it, the voice echoed. Survive. The pressure returned, stronger than ever. It wasn't just mental. The tiger attacked. Lu Chen reacted instantly. He jumped back, barely dodging a swipe that tore through the air. The ground exploded where he had been standing. Too slow. Another strike. Faster. Lu Chen rolled to the side, his body barely keeping up. This wasn't a test of strength. This was a test of survival. He couldn't win. Not physically. Not against something like this. But he didn't need to win. He just needed to endure. Another attack. Closer. Sharper. Lu Chen's arm was grazed. Blood spilled. Pain surged. But his mind stayed clear. Not enough, he whispered. His eyes locked onto the tiger, focused, unshaken. I felt worse. The tiger paused for just a fraction of a second, and that was enough. Chen stepped forward, directly into its range. "If you want to kill me, do it," he said. "But if you don't," his voice dropped, "then accept me." Silence. Complete. Absolute. The tiger's eyes burned into his. Searching. Testing. Then the world shifted. A sudden warmth spread through Chen's body. The pressure vanished, replaced by something else. Connection. A faint light appeared between them, invisible to the world, but real. A bond. The voice came again, but this time it was different. No longer distant, no longer overwhelming, closer, clearer. Chen. He froze. It knew his name. From this moment, the voice continued, "We hunt together." The light intensified, then it settled, deep within him. Chen exhaled slowly, his body relaxed. For the first time since the blood moon, he felt stable, complete. He looked at the tiger. No, his partner. A small smile appeared on his face. "Let's take this world." The tiger lowered its head slightly. Not submission, acknowledgement. And far away, in the chaos of the collapsing world, a new force had just been born. H2, Strong, Chapter 7. The First Hunt. The contract changed everything. Chen stood in the clearing, his breath finally steady. The forest was no longer silent, but it felt different now. Not hostile, not overwhelming, familiar. He could feel it, a presence, not outside, but inside him. Warm, powerful, alive. He looked at the white tiger, or rather, at his partner. "Can you hear me?" he asked quietly. There was no sound, but a response came instantly. "Yes." Chen's eyes sharpened. Not words spoken, not thoughts imagined. A direct connection. Clear, undeniable. "This is the contract," he whispered. In his past life, he had only heard rumors, seen fragments. But now, he understood. A contract wasn't control. It was synchronization. Thoughts, senses, intent, shared. Chen closed his eyes briefly, and suddenly, his perspective shifted. For a split second, he wasn't standing anymore. He was running. The ground rushing beneath him, the air slicing past his face, the scent of blood, sharp and vivid. It snapped back. Chen staggered slightly. "I can feel what you feel." Partially. The tiger's voice was calm. "Distance weakens it. Focus strengthens it." Chen nodded slowly. "So this is how beast tamers fought. Not commanding from afar, but fighting together." A deep roar echoed in the distance. Both of them turned instantly. Something was coming. The forest trembled. Branches snapped. A massive shape moved through the darkness. Heavy, violent, hungry. Chen's eyes narrowed. First target. The creature emerged. A wild boar, but not the kind that existed before. Its body had doubled in size. Thick muscles bulged beneath rough, dark hide. Tusks curved outward like blades, and its eyes glowed red. Evolved. The tiger's voice was sharp now, newly transformed, unstable. The boar snorted violently, then charged. The ground shook beneath its weight. Chen didn't move. He didn't need to. The tiger moved first, a blur of white, faster than sight. It collided with the boar head-on. The impact echoed like thunder. The boar screamed, but it didn't fall. Instead, it fought back. Its tusks slashed upward, catching the tiger's shoulder. Blood sprayed into the air. Lu Chen's chest tightened. He felt it, not physically, but through the bond. Pain, sharp, real. So it works both ways. The tiger growled low, not weakened, angry. Focus. The voice cut through Lu Chen's thoughts. Don't hesitate. Lu Chen's expression hardened. Right. This wasn't the old world. This was survival. Left side. Its leg is slower, Lu Chen said instantly. The tiger reacted without hesitation. It shifted, dodged another charge, then struck. Claws tore into the boar's side. Deep, precise. Boar staggered. For just a moment, and that was enough. The tiger lunged, jaws clamping down on its neck. A crunch echoed. The boar collapsed, still, dead. Silence returned, heavy, real. Lu Chen exhaled slowly. That was easier than I expected. Because it was weak, the tiger replied, newly evolved. No control. Lu Chen nodded. Then, he stepped forward, toward the corpse. Inside the torn flesh, something shimmered. Faint, glowing. Lu Chen crouched down and reached in. Warm blood coated his hand, but he didn't hesitate. His fingers closed around something solid, smooth, warm. He pulled it out, a crystal, no bigger than a marble, but glowing faintly with inner light. Crystal core, the most important resource in the apocalypse. Lu Chen stared at it. In his past life, people had killed for things like this, betrayed, destroyed, all for power. So this is where it begins. Absorb it, the tiger said. Lu Chen hesitated. Now? Yes. This will accelerate your evolution. Lu Chen looked at the crystal again. Then, without overthinking, he crushed it. The moment it shattered, energy exploded outward. His body froze. His vision blurred. Then, the energy surged into him. Heat spread through every vein. His muscles tightened. His senses sharpened. It wasn't painful. It was addictive. Lu Chen gasped slightly. This feeling, power, real power. When it settled, he stood there quietly. Different, stronger. He clenched his fists slowly. Not enough. The tiger looked at him, a faint approval in its eyes. Then we hunt more. Lu Chen smiled. This time, not out of relief, but excitement. Because now, he had proof. A system, a path, a way forward. The weak died, the strong ruled, and he was just getting started. In the distance, more roars echoed, more creatures evolving, and somewhere out there, other humans were awakening too. Some strong, some dangerous, some who would become kings. Lu Chen turned toward the forest, his eyes sharp, focused. Let's go. Because tonight, the hunt had just begun. Chapter 8. The Outside World. The forest wasn't the only place that changed. Far beyond Paniwa Forest Park, the world was collapsing. Cities that once thrived with life were now drowning in chaos. Cars crashed into each other on highways. Buildings burned in the distance. People ran without direction, screaming, crying, begging. Because the real horror wasn't just the blood moon, it was what came after. In the heart of a nearby city, a man staggered through a broken street. His clothes were torn, his hands trembling. What is happening? His voice shook as he looked around. A body lay nearby, half-eaten, not by humans, by something else. A low growl echoed. The man froze. Slowly he turned. A dog stood there, or what used to be a dog. Its body had doubled in size, teeth extended unnaturally, muscles bulging beneath its skin, and its eyes glowed red. The man tried to run. He didn't get far. Back in the forest, Chen moved swiftly through the trees. The white tiger beside him, silent, deadly. They had already hunted 3 evolved beasts, each stronger than the last, each one a step forward. But Chen's expression had changed. He stopped suddenly. Something's wrong. The tiger's ears twitched. Humans. Chen's eyes narrowed. So it begins. In his past life, the first few days were chaos. Humans fighting beasts, running, dying. But after that, something worse happened. Humans turned on each other. Stay alert, Chen said quietly. The tiger didn't respond. It didn't need to. They moved forward, slowly, carefully. Through the trees, a figure appeared, a human, standing still, waiting. Chen stopped. This wasn't panic. This wasn't fear. This was intent. The man stepped forward into the moonlight. Tall, calm, too calm. Well, this is interesting. His voice was steady, almost amused. His eyes locked onto the white tiger, then shifted to Chen. I was wondering who cleared this area so efficiently. A faint smile appeared on his face. Turns out, it's you. Chen didn't respond immediately. He observed. The man's posture, his breathing, his presence, strong. Not physically, but something else. You've awakened, Chen said finally. Not a question, a statement. The man chuckled. Of course. He raised his hand slightly, and suddenly the ground beneath them shifted. Cracks spread across the earth. Stones lifted, floating. Chen's eyes sharpened. Control over matter. Close, the man replied. More like control over pressure. The air grew heavy instantly. Chen felt it. A weight pressing down on him. Not overwhelming, but noticeable. The man tilted his head slightly. And you, his gaze shifted to the tiger again. You're a beast tamer. Silence. Then, he smiled. Perfect. The pressure increased suddenly. The ground beneath Chen cracked. I need something like that. The tiger growled low, stepping forward. Don't move, Chen said calmly. The tiger stopped, but its eyes never left the man. Want to take it? Chen asked. The man shrugged casually. Not take. A pause. Kill you. Then take it. The air exploded. The attack came instantly. Invisible force slammed toward Chen. But he moved first. Now, the tiger lunged, a blur of white, intercepting the attack. The pressure collided with its body, slowing it, but not stopping it. The man's expression changed slightly. Fast. The tiger struck, claws tearing through the air. The man raised his hand. The ground rose to block. Impact. Stone shattered. But the tiger didn't stop. It pushed through, closing the distance. The man stepped back quickly, for the first time, surprised. Chen moved at the same time, not attacking, observing, analyzing. His ability has a delay, he thought instantly. Short, but real. Right side, after he lifts his hand. The tiger adjusted. The next attack came, and this time, it landed. A claw slashed across the man's arm. Blood spilled. You. And all sane. 1. You're not just controlling it. Chen stepped forward. Calm. Focused. And we fight together. The man clenched his teeth. The air around him twisted again. But this time, he hesitated. He hesitated, and hesitation was fatal. The tiger lunged again. Faster. Stronger. The man tried to react, but he was too late. The attack hit. Was everything ended? Silence returned. Chen stood still, watching the body fall. So it begins. The first human enemy. The first human kill. And it wouldn't be the last. He walked forward slowly, kneeling beside the body. There should be one. Inside the man's chest, a faint glow appeared. Chen reached in and pulled it out. A crystal core, but different, brighter, stronger. Human core. The tiger watched silently. Stronger than beasts, Chen said quietly. Then he crushed it. The energy surged instantly, stronger than before, sharper. Chen exhaled slowly. His eyes opened, cold, focused. The real hunt, he said softly. Chapter 9. The Boar King. Power never stayed hidden for long, not in the New World. Every surge of energy, every battle, every death left a mark, and those marks attracted others. Miles away from Paniwa Forest Park, in the ruins of an abandoned farming district, something else was rising. The air there was thick, heavy, not just with the scent of blood, but with something more primal. Dominance. A group of survivors huddled inside a broken warehouse. Dozens of them. Injured. Terrified. "We can't stay here," one of them whispered. "They're everywhere." Outside, snorting sounds echoed. Low. Deep. Getting closer. Then a scream. Short. Cut off instantly. The doors shook violently. Once. Twice. Then they exploded inward. The survivors screamed, because what stood outside wasn't normal anymore. Boars, but massive. Each one the size of a small car. Thick hides like armor. Tusks sharp as blades. And their eyes glowed with a terrifying intelligence. They didn't rush blindly. They moved in formation, surrounding, blocking, hunting. Then he walked in. A man. Calm, steady, walking through the chaos like it didn't matter. The boars didn't attack him. They parted, made way. Because he wasn't prey. He was their king. "Please, don't kill us," one of the survivors begged. The man stopped, looked at them, expression unreadable. "Why not?" His voice was quiet, but heavy. We can help." The man shook his head slightly. "No." He raised his hand, and the boars moved. The screams didn't last long. Silence returned. The man stood alone among the bodies, blood soaking into the ground. "Still too weak," he muttered. One of the boars approached him, larger than the rest. It lowered its head slightly. The man placed a hand on it. 300 isn't enough." His eyes lifted toward the red moon. "I need more." Because in his mind, he remembered something. Not clearly, not completely, but enough. A future, a path, a throne. And he knew he wouldn't be the only one walking it. Back in Paniwa Forest Park, Chen stood on the mountain peak. The wind moved through the trees, the forest below alive with movement. He said quietly. The tiger beside him remained still, but its eyes shifted, looking outward. Far. Chen nodded, not close, but strong. He could feel it, not directly, but instinctively. Someone else had awakened, someone dangerous. "How many contracts can a human form?" Chen asked. The tiger didn't answer immediately. Then, "Depends." "On what?" "Your limit." Chen frowned slightly. "That's not helpful." A low rumble, almost amusement. Your mind. Your will. Too many contracts. The tiger's voice lowered. And you break. Chen went silent. So there was a limit. Good. That meant strategy mattered. Then I don't need many, he said calmly. His eyes shifted to the forest. I just need the strongest. The tiger looked at him. For a brief moment, something like approval flickered in its gaze. Below them, other tigers moved. Restless, changed. Not all of them were stable. Some had grown too aggressive. Some had begun fighting uncontrollably. Evolution had made them stronger, but also more dangerous. Chen turned. It's time. For what? He looked back at the forest. To decide which ones live. A pause, and which ones become power. Silence followed, because that decision would change everything. Far away, in the ruined farmland, the man stood surrounded by his boars. As if sensing something, he looked up, toward the same red moon. A faint smile appeared. So you're out there too. Two paths, two kings, and eventually they would collide. Chapter 10. Selection. Power had a cost. Chen stood at the edge of the forest, looking down at the land he had built. Thousands of tigers. Once, they had been his insurance, his preparation, his army. Now, they were a problem. Not all evolution was stable. Some tigers had grown stronger, faster, sharper. Others had lost control. Their instincts had overwhelmed them. They fought constantly, killed without reason, ignored territory. And worst of all, they were becoming unpredictable. This won't work, Chen said quietly. Beside him, the white tiger watched silently. Its presence alone kept most of the others in check. But even that had limits. If this continues, Chen's eyes hardened. They'll tear each other apart. Or worse, they would turn on him. The contract protected him, but only with one. The rest, they were still wild, still dangerous, still evolving. Then there's only one solution. Silence filled the air. Even the wind seemed to slow. The white tiger spoke. You've decided. Chen didn't answer immediately. Because this was the line. The difference between before and now. I didn't come back to hesitate, he said finally. His voice was calm, but cold. We keep the strongest. A pause. The rest, his eyes lowered slightly, become fuel. The hunt began at dawn, not chaotic, not reckless, planned, precise. Chen moved through the forest, the white tiger beside him. Other tigers watched from a distance, uneasy, instinctively aware something had changed. The first target appeared quickly, a large male tiger. Its body had mutated unevenly, one side larger than the other. Movements aggressive, but unstable. It growled the moment it saw them. Low, threatening. Chen didn't stop. This one. The white tiger moved instantly. No warning, no hesitation. It struck. The fight was short, brutal. The mutated tiger lunged wildly, but lacked control. The white tiger dodged, countered, ended it. Silence returned. Chen walked forward slowly, looking down at the body. Too unstable. He knelt, reached into the chest, and pulled out the core. Larger than before, brighter, stronger. Without hesitation, he crushed it. Energy surged through him, more intense than before, more violent. His body tensed, muscles tightening, senses sharpening further. Say, good. He stood up. No waste. They moved again. Second target, third, fourth, each one chosen carefully. Not the weakest, but the flawed, the unstable, the uncontrollable, those that would become threats later. Hours passed. The forest grew quieter. The number of roars decreased. The constant tension faded. And with each hunt, Chen grew stronger, faster, sharper. Not dramatically, but steadily. Controlled growth. They stopped. Chen stood in a clearing, breathing steady. Around him, several tiger corpses lay still. The air was heavy, not just with blood, but with decision. "How many left?" he asked. The white tiger looked into the forest. "Fewer." "Enough?" A pause. "Better." Chen nodded. That was enough. He turned, looking out over the forest again. This time, it felt different. Not chaotic, not unstable. Balanced. A system. But something else had changed too. The remaining tigers were watching him. Not like before. Not just instinct. Awareness, recognition. They had seen it. Understood it. Strength, decision, dominance. Chen met their gaze. "This is how it works now," he said quietly. "Follow." A pause. "Or become power." Because they already knew. That night, Chen stood alone at the mountain peak. The red moon still hung above, unchanging, watching. He clenched his fists slowly. His body felt stronger, but not enough. Never enough. "The Boar King," he muttered. If that man had already begun, then time was shorter than he thought. He looked out into the distance, eyes sharp, focused. "I need more." Behind him, the white tiger stepped forward, silent, ready. Because this was no longer survival. This was a race, and only one would reach the top. Chapter 11. Expansion. Survival was no longer enough. Chen stood at the edge of Paniwa Forest Park, looking beyond the reinforced boundaries for the first time since the blood moon. The outside world had changed. Smoke rose in the distance. Buildings stood broken. Roads were empty, or worse, littered with the remains of those who didn't adapt. The world had fallen faster than anyone could have imagined. "It's time." Behind him the white tiger stood still, silent, waiting. The forest was stable now. The weak had been removed, the strong remained. But this place was too small. If Chen wanted to survive long term, if he wanted to dominate, he needed more than just a controlled environment. He needed territory. "Stay," Chen said to the tiger. For the first time, it didn't immediately move with him. Its eyes narrowed slightly. "You go alone?" Chen nodded. "Just scouting." A pause. "I won't go far." The tiger didn't like it, that much was clear. But after a moment, it stepped back. Trust. Not complete, but growing. Chen crossed the boundary and stepped into the real world. The air felt different. Heavier. Thicker. Filled with unfamiliar scents, blood, decay, and something else. Energy. More concentrated than inside the park. So this is where the real evolution happens. It made sense. More danger. More conflict. More growth. Chen moved cautiously down the abandoned road, every step measured, every sound analyzed. A broken car blocked part of the street, the windows shattered, blood smeared across the side. No body. Which meant, dragged away. A faint noise echoed nearby. Chen stopped instantly, listening. Voices. Human. "Please don't leave me. We can't carry you, just stay quiet." Chen turned toward the sound. Behind a collapsed shop, 3 people huddled together. 1 injured, 2 barely holding themselves together. They saw him instantly. Hope flashed across their faces. "Help us." Chen didn't move, didn't respond. Instead, he scanned the surroundings, and found it, a shadow, moving along the rooftops, watching, waiting. Not alone. The survivors didn't notice. They were too desperate. "Please, There's something out there. Too late. The creature dropped. Fast. Silent. A mutated cat, but far from harmless. Its body was sleek, but elongated. Claws sharp like blades. Eyes glowing with predatory intelligence. It lunged, straight for the injured man. Before it could land, Chen moved, faster than before. Cleaner. He grabbed a metal rod from the ground, and struck. The impact knocked the creature aside, but didn't kill it. It twisted mid-air, landing perfectly. Its eyes locked on to Chen. Change target. Good, Chen muttered. The creature attacked again, faster this time, sharper. Chen stepped back, just enough to avoid the claws. Still not enough. He adjusted his stance, focused, and then the connection activated. His senses sharpened instantly, his reaction speed increased. Borrowed instinct, borrowed precision. Even without the tiger, the bond remained. The next attack came, and Chen saw it clearly. He moved, not away, forward. The rod pierced through the creature's throat. It struggled, briefly, then went still. Silence. Chen exhaled slowly. That confirms it. The contract wasn't limited by distance, just weakened. He turned back to the survivors. They stared at him, shocked, terrified. "What are you?" one of them whispered. Chen didn't answer directly. Instead, he asked, "Do you want to live?" They nodded instantly, desperate. "Then listen carefully." His voice was calm, controlled. "From now on, you follow my rules." A pause. No hesitation. "If you can't do that," his eyes shifted briefly to the dead creature, "you won't survive anyway." Silence. Then, slowly, they nodded again. "We'll do anything." Chen studied them. Weak, but not useless. In the apocalypse, even weak people had value. Scouts, carriers, bait. Fine. He turned. "Come with me." Because expansion wasn't just about territory, it was about control. And control required people. Far away, in the ruined farmland, the Boar King stood still. One of his beasts had returned, injured. He placed a hand on it. "Someone else is hunting." His eyes lifted slowly. "Good." A faint smile appeared. "Let's see how long you last." Back in the forest, the white tiger opened its eyes, as if sensing something. Something approaching. Something strong. The world was growing. The players were rising. And the game had just begun. Chapter 12. The Second Contract. Power always demanded more. Chen stood inside the mountain base once again. The survivors he brought back had been secured, fed, cleaned, assigned simple tasks. They moved carefully, spoke softly, because they understood something instinctively. This place was safe, but the man who ruled it was not. "Status," Chen said without turning. One of the survivors stepped forward nervously. "Food distribution stable. Perimeter checks complete. No internal incidents." Chen nodded slightly. "Good." He didn't ask their names, didn't care. Not yet. His focus was elsewhere. On the table in front of him, several crystal cores lay still. Different sizes, different intensities, collected over the past hunts. Still, too slow. Even with constant hunting, even with efficient selection, his growth rate wasn't enough. Because he knew, others were growing too. The Boar King, and countless unknown threats. Chen picked up one of the cores. Smaller, but denser. "Then I need more sources." Behind him, a low rumble echoed. The white tiger stepped into the room. Its presence alone silenced everything. "You're thinking again." Chen didn't turn. Second contract. Silence. Then the air shifted. "Dangerous." I know. Lu Chen finally looked at it. But necessary. The tiger's eyes narrowed slightly. Your body isn't stable enough. Then I'll make it stable. Or I'll break. The tiger didn't respond immediately, because it knew he wasn't joking. Contracts weren't unlimited. Each one placed pressure on the body, on the mind, on the soul itself. Too many, and the human would collapse, lose control, die. But Lu Chen had an advantage. He knew what was coming. He knew that later in the apocalypse, some people managed multiple contracts. Not easily, not safely, but they did it. Which meant it was possible. I won't rush it, Lu Chen said calmly. I'll choose carefully. The tiger studied him. Then it turned. Follow. They moved out of the base, deeper into the forest, past the stable zones, past the controlled territory, into the wild. The air changed. Heavier, sharper, more dangerous. Why here? Lu Chen asked. The tiger didn't slow. Stronger beasts gather here. Good. That's exactly what he needed. Minutes later, they found it. A clearing, silent. Too silent. At the center, a creature crouched low. Not a tiger. Not even close. A wolf. But larger. Lean. Its body built for speed, not brute force. Its fur was dark, almost blending into shadows, and its eyes, sharp, calculating. It wasn't feeding, wasn't resting. It was watching. Intelligent, Lu Chen whispered. Gaze shifted. From the tiger to him, and it didn't flinch, didn't retreat. Instead, it stepped forward, slow, confident. Careful. The tiger's voice was low. Why? It's not afraid. Lu Chen's expression sharpened. Good. Fearless beasts were harder to control, but stronger partners. I'll take this one. The tiger didn't object, because this was his choice. Lu Chen stepped forward, alone. The wolf lowered its body slightly, not attacking, preparing. Same rule, Lu Chen muttered. Prove worth. The moment he crossed a certain distance, it happened. A sharp pressure, not as heavy as the tiger's, but faster, sharper. His mind shook. Images flashed. Hunting, blood, speed. The wolf's instincts. Then, it moved. Faster than anything he had seen before. Even faster than the tiger, in pure speed. Lu Chen barely reacted. He stepped aside, but not completely. The wolf's claw grazed his side. Blood spilled. Fast. Another attack. Closer, sharper. Lu Chen adjusted, focused. The connection with the tiger flickered, enhancing his reaction. But still, not enough. I can't outpace it. Then he changed approach. Instead of reacting, he predicted. Watch the shoulders, the weight shift, the intent. The next attack came, and this time, he moved first, barely avoiding it. The wolf stopped, eyes narrowing. Interest. Good, Lu Chen whispered. He stepped forward again. Despite the wounds, despite the pressure. I don't need to beat you. His voice steady. The air froze. For a moment, nothing moved. Then, the wolf approached slowly. Close. Closer, until it stood in front of him. Their eyes met. Sharp, equal. Then, the pressure vanished. A new connection formed. Not as deep, not as heavy, but fast, fluid. A second voice entered his mind. Acceptable. Lu Chen exhaled slowly. 2. He had done it. A second contract. But the moment it formed, pain hit. Sharp. Violent. His body shook. The strain, immediate. Too much. He dropped to one knee, breathing heavy. So this is the cost. The tiger stepped closer, watching, not helping, because this he had to endure alone. After a long moment, the pain settled. but controlled. SCNWUSN. Sweat running down his face. Worth it. He looked at the wolf, now calm, now connected. Let's see how far I can go. Because now, he wasn't just building strength. He was breaking limits. Chapter 13. Dual Power. 2 contracts. That was the moment everything changed. Chen stood still in the clearing, breathing slowly. The white tiger on his left, the shadow wolf on his right. 2 apex predators, 2 completely different instincts, and both connected to him. Let's test it. The moment he focused, it began. First, the tiger. A surge of raw power flooded his body. Muscles tightened. Bones felt heavier, denser. Strength, explosive, violent. Then the wolf. A second wave, sharper, faster. His senses expanded. The world slowed. Every movement became clear. Every sound precise. Chen's eyes opened. Different. So this is dual synchronization. Not just addition. Amplification. Strength and speed combined. He took a step forward and disappeared. No sound. No warning. In the next instant, he reappeared several meters ahead. The ground cracked beneath his feet. Too fast. Even for himself. It was overwhelming. He steadied his breathing. Control. That was the key. Because without control, power meant nothing. Again. This time he moved slower, step by step, balancing both instincts, not letting one overpower the other. The tiger's voice echoed faintly. Don't force it. The wolf followed. Flow. Chen closed his eyes and adjusted. Not strength first, not speed first. Together. He moved again. This time, smooth, fast, but controlled. Strong, but precise. A faint smile appeared on his face. Perfect. Hours later, they returned to the forest edge, but this time, Chen didn't stop. He kept walking, past the boundary, back into the outside world. This is where it starts. The city ruins stretched ahead. Empty, broken, but not abandoned. Because movement was everywhere. Creatures hiding, humans surviving, waiting. A group of mutated beasts appeared ahead. 3 of them, wolf-like, but different from his. More aggressive, less intelligent. They spotted him instantly and charged. Chen didn't step back, didn't hesitate. He moved. The first beast lunged and missed. Chen was already behind it. A single strike crushed its spine. The second attacked, faster. He turned, caught it mid-air, and slammed it into the ground. The third stopped. Too late. The white tiger appeared, ending it instantly. Silence. 3 kills. Seconds. Chen stood still. No heavy breathing. No strain. This is the difference. Before, he hunted, carefully, slowly. Now, he dominated. He walked forward calmly, collected the cores, crushed them one by one. Energy surged through him. But this time, his body handled it better. Stronger foundation, better control. Good. Behind him, the survivors he had brought earlier watched from a distance. Hidden, silent. They had followed. Carefully. And now, they had seen everything. He's not human, one of them whispered. No, another replied. He's something else. Chen didn't turn, but he heard them, and didn't deny it. Because in this world, human was no longer enough. That evening, rumors began to spread. Among survivors, among small groups, among those trying to live another day. A story about a man walking with beasts, killing evolved creatures effortlessly, controlling monsters. Some called him a savior. Some called him a monster. But one thing was certain. He was rising. Far away, the Boar King stood still, listening. A man with beasts. His eyes darkened slightly. Interesting. One of his massive boars growled beside him, as if sensing something. The Boar King smiled faintly. So you started too. Back under the blood moon, Chen stood at the center of the ruined city, two beasts beside him, eyes sharp, focused. This world, he said quietly, is mine to take. And for the first time, it didn't sound like ambition. It sounded like truth. Chapter 14. Territory War. Power attracts attention, and attention brings enemies. The ruins of the city were no longer empty. Over the past few days, survivors had begun to gather. Small groups, temporary alliances, desperate attempts at control. Food, shelter, safety, all limited. And in a world like this, scarcity meant conflict. Chen stood atop a half-collapsed building, looking down at the streets below. Movement everywhere. Humans, watching, waiting. They're organizing, he said quietly. The white tiger sat behind him, silent. The shadow wolf circled lazily nearby, but both were alert. They've noticed you, the tiger's voice echoed in his mind. Chen nodded slightly. Good, because hiding was never his plan. By afternoon, they came. Not one group, 3. From different directions, different leaders, different abilities, but all with the same goal, to test him. The first group stepped forward, about 10 people, armed with makeshift weapons. At their front, a man with reinforced arms, Ali dense, skin hardened like stone. You're the one with the beasts? His voice was rough, confident. Chen didn't respond immediately. The second group approached from the side, smaller, but more controlled. At their center, a woman, eyes glowing faintly blue. The air around her flickered slightly. Elemental control, Chen noted silently. The third group stayed back, watching, not moving yet. Smart. So it's true. The man with stone-like arms laughed. One guy controlling monsters. He cracked his neck, and walking around like he owns the place. Chen finally looked at him. Calm, uninterested. I do. Silence. Then, laughter. You hear that? The man shouted to his group. He owns it. The tension snapped. Take him. They rushed forward. 10 against 1. Reckless. Chen didn't move, until the last second. Accelerated. The tiger moved first. A single leap, and the front line broke. The wolf followed. Fast, silent, striking from the side, cutting through formation. Chen stepped forward. Not avoiding, engaging. The man with stone arms charged directly at him. A punch, heavy, fast. Chen didn't dodge. He met it. Impact. The ground cracked beneath them. For a moment, they held. Then, the man's expression changed. Impossible. Chen pushed forward. Strength, enhanced by the tiger. Overwhelming, the man was thrown back, crashing into debris. Before he could stand, the tiger was there, ending it. The rest panicked. Too fast, too strong. They broke, ran. But the wolf didn't let them. One by one, they fell. Silence returned. Didn't move. The woman stepped forward slowly. We're not here to fight. Chen looked at her. Then why are you here? A pause. To negotiate. Behind her, the third group finally moved. Larger, more organized. And at their center, a man stepped forward. Calm, smiling. You're stronger than expected. Lu Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. This one was different. Not reckless. Not emotional. Calculated. What do you want? Lu Chen asked. The man spread his arms slightly. Simple. Control of this area. A pause. Together. Silence. The wind moved through the broken streets. Lu Chen looked at all of them. 3 groups. Different strengths. Different intentions. But all looking at him. Waiting. Then he smiled, but there was no warmth in it. The air froze. The man's smile faded slightly. You're refusing? Lu Chen stepped forward. Slow. Deliberate. I don't share. The tiger moved. The wolf shifted. The atmosphere changed instantly. If you want territory, Lu Chen said quietly, take it. The message was clear. Not negotiation. War. The man's expression hardened. So be it. Behind him, his group stepped forward, abilities activating, energy rising. The woman hesitated, then stepped back, choosing a side by not choosing. Lu Chen stood still, 2 beasts beside him, against an army, and for the first time, the city truly became a battlefield. H2, Chapter 15, War of Beasts. The city held its breath. For a moment, no one moved. 2 sides stood facing each other across the shattered street. On one side, a coordinated group of awakened humans. On the other, 1 man, 2 beasts, and absolute confidence. Attack. The command came coldly from the opposing leader. No hesitation. No more words. The battlefield exploded. Flames burst into the air. Shockwaves rippled across the ground. Metal fragments lifted and shot forward like bullets. Multiple abilities activated at once. Lu Chen moved, not backward, forward. The tiger roared, a sound so powerful it shattered nearby glass, and charged. The wolf vanished, gone from sight, already moving through shadows. Lu Chen stepped into the chaos. A fireball shot toward him. He didn't stop, didn't dodge. He broke through it. The flames burned, but didn't slow him. He appeared in front of the caster and struck. 1 hit. The man collapsed instantly. Behind him, the ground erupted. Spikes of stone shot upward. Lu Chen twisted mid-motion. Barely avoiding the fatal strike. Silence. Multiple attackers. He adjusted instantly. Left. The tiger reacted, crashing into a group trying to flank. Bodies scattered. Formation broken. The wolf struck next. Silent. Precise. Legs severed. A throat torn. A leg severed. Another target eliminated. The opposing leader watched everything. Calm. Focused. He's coordinating them. Not commanding. Synchronizing. That was the difference. Spread out, he shouted. Don't let him control the flow. Too late. Lu Chen had already taken control. The battlefield wasn't chaos anymore. It was a system. Every movement calculated. Every attack timed. The tiger handled pressure. The wolf handled speed. Lu Chen controlled everything in between. Another attacker rushed him. Enhanced speed. Too slow. Lu Chen caught him mid-strike and slammed him into the ground. The impact cracked the street open. Before the man could recover, the wolf ended it. Impossible. Someone whispered. They were losing. Badly. The opposing leader stepped forward. Enough. The air around him changed. He raised his hand, and the pressure surged. heavier than before, stronger. Even Chen slowed slightly. So this is your real ability. The man smiled faintly. I was just testing you. The ground beneath them sank slightly. Pressure. Not just force. Control. Chen exhaled slowly. Good. He stepped forward again. This time, fully focused. Tiger. Wolf. Both connections activated at once. The world slowed. The pressure, still there, but manageable. Now, he moved. Faster than before. Stronger than before. The man reacted instantly, trying to increase the pressure. But it wasn't enough. Chen broke through it, closed the distance. Clean. Pure. The man tried to block, but his body couldn't keep up. Impact. He was thrown back, crashing through a wall. Silence. Everyone froze, because the strongest had just fallen. Chen walked forward slowly, each step echoing. The man struggled to stand, blood on his lips. Monster. Chen stopped in front of him. No. A pause. Just stronger. The tiger stepped forward. The wolf circled behind. No escape. Wait. Too late. It ended. Silence returned to the city. Heavy. Complete. The remaining survivors didn't move, didn't speak, because they understood now. There was no balance, no shared control. Only one ruler. Chen turned, looking at them all. Anyone else? No one answered. No one dared. Good. The city was his. That night, fires burned across the skyline. Not from destruction, but from control. Signals, warnings, territory markers. And far away, the Boar King stood in silence, watching the distant glow. You've taken your first city. His expression didn't change. Then I'll take mine. 2 kings, 2 paths, and soon, only one would remain. Chapter 16. Rise of Kings. Power didn't stay contained. Not in this world. Once it appeared, it spread. In the days following the battle, Chen's control over the city stabilized quickly. Survivors organized, not by choice, but by reality. Food was distributed, shelter secured, watchposts established. Anyone who resisted didn't last long. Chen didn't rule like a hero. He ruled like a system, efficient, cold, unshakable. At the center of the city, inside a reinforced structure, he stood quietly, eyes closed. 2 presences flowed within him. The tiger, the wolf, strength, speed, balanced. Still not enough. Even after multiple battles, even after absorbing dozens of cores, he could feel it. A limit. Not reached, but approaching. You're pushing too fast. The tiger's voice echoed. I don't have time. You'll break. Then I'll rebuild. Silence followed, because neither of them disagreed. In another ruined region, something else was happening. A field. Wide. Empty. Except for movement. Hundreds of massive boars. Their bodies had grown even larger. Muscles like steel. Tusks like weapons. And at their center, he stood. The Boar King. His presence alone controlled everything. The boars didn't roam wildly, didn't fight each other. They waited for him. Again, his voice was calm, a command, and instantly the herd moved, charging forward. Perfect coordination. Ahead of them, a group of evolved beasts, stronger than before, more dangerous. But it didn't matter. The boars crashed into them. Not chaos, control. They surrounded, trapped, crushed. A perfect hunt. Within minutes, it was over. The Boar King walked forward, looking at the corpses. He reached down, pulled out multiple crystal cores. But unlike Chen, he didn't absorb them immediately. Instead, he fed them to the boars. The result was instant. The beasts trembled, bodies expanding further, energy surging through them. Growth through multiplication. He smiled faintly, not strengthening himself, but his army, because his path was different. Chen was becoming stronger himself, but the Boar King was becoming unstoppable through numbers. Two systems, two philosophies, one focused on control, one focused on expansion. Back in the city, Chen opened his eyes. There it is again, a distant pressure, faint but growing. The tiger spoke first, another king. The wolf followed, strong. Chen stood slowly, walking toward the window, looking out over his territory. So you've grown too. No hesitation, only calculation. How many? He asked. Many, the tiger replied. An army. Chen's expression didn't change. Good, because that meant the fight would be worth it. He turned, looking at the people inside the building. Survivors, followers, resources, prepare. His voice echoed through the room. Expand the perimeter. Gather all available supplies. Strengthen defenses. A pause. And anyone who can fight, his eyes sharpened, gets stronger. Because the next battle wouldn't be small. It wouldn't be controlled. It would decide who ruled. Far away, the Boar King looked in the same direction, as if sensing him. Soon, the red moon hung above both of them, watching, waiting. Two kings had risen, and the world wasn't big enough for both. F. Chapter 17. Collision Course. War didn't begin with a battle. It began with movement. At the edge of Chen's territory, scouts were already watching. Not soldiers, not trained fighters, just survivors who had learned one thing: information meant survival. Movement confirmed. A young man crouched behind a broken wall, speaking into a crude radio. Multiple beasts, large, organized. His voice trembled. Too many to count. The signal crackled. From the other side, a calm voice responded. Distance? Still far, but heading this way. Ah, silence. Then, return immediately. Inside the city, Chen stood over a rough map laid across a table. Hand-drawn, messy, but accurate enough. Markers had been placed across it. Beast sightings, human groups, resource zones. Now, a new line had been drawn. What? They're not wandering. His finger traced the path. They're advancing. The tiger stood behind him, still. Not hunting. War, Chen finished. The wolf's voice echoed next. Fast. Chen nodded. Faster than expected. Which meant one thing. The Boar King wasn't waiting. He was coming. Then, we don't wait either. Chen straightened. Send out teams. Clear nearby zones. Secure all resources. Anyone unwilling to fight, move them deeper inside. His voice was steady. No panic. No hesitation. Because this was exactly what he had prepared for. Outside the city, the first clash happened. A scouting team. Small. 5 people. They moved carefully through the outskirts, avoiding open areas, watching every corner. It's too quiet. Then, they heard it. Heavy footsteps. Not one. Many. The ground trembled. Run. Too late. From the tree line, they emerged. Boars. Dozens. Larger than any seen before. Faster. More aggressive. The team scattered, but there was no escape. The boars didn't chase blindly. They flanked, blocked, cut off every path. One by one, the scouts fell. No screams, No struggle, just efficiency. At the center of the advancing herd, he walked, the Boar King. His gaze calm, unbothered. Too weak. He didn't slow, didn't stop, because this wasn't the battle. This was just the approach. Back in the city, Chen stood at the highest point, watching the horizon. Smoke rose in the distance, a sign. They're closer. The tiger's voice was low. Yes, the wolf added, soon. Chen's eyes narrowed. Good, because now there was no more waiting. Behind him, the city had changed. Barricades reinforced, watchtowers built, fighters prepared. Even the air felt different, heavy, tense. A group of survivors stood nearby, weapons in hand. Not strong, not confident, but ready. Because they understood, if Chen fell, they died. He turned to them. Listen carefully. His voice carried across the rooftop. This isn't a fight you can win alone. A pause. So don't. Stay together. Survive. That was all he said. No speeches. No promises. Just truth. The sun began to set. The red moon rose again, and with it, the pressure returned, stronger than before. Closer. Chen stepped forward, the tiger at his side, the wolf in the shadows, his eyes fixed on the distance. Tomorrow, far away, the Boar King stopped, looking ahead. Tomorrow. Two forces, two armies, moving toward each other. No retreat, no compromise, only one outcome. Chapter 18. King versus King. Dawn never came quietly. Not anymore. The sky was still dim, the red moon hanging low, when the first sound echoed across the plains. A roar. Then, a stampede. From the north, they came, hundreds. Massive bodies tearing through the ground, tusks gleaming like blades, eyes burning with violent intent. From the south, Chen's forces moved, tigers spreading across the flanks, humans holding the center, and at the very front, Chen, the white tiger at his side, the shadow wolf already gone, vanished into the battlefield. The distance closed, fast, too fast. Hold formation, someone shouted from the human line. Fear was there, but no one ran, because behind them was everything, and ahead was death. The first collision came like a storm. Boars crashed into the front lines. The impact alone threw bodies aside. Barricades shattered instantly. But the tigers met them head-on, claws against tusks, fangs against armor like hide. The battlefield exploded. Blood stained the ground. Roars, screams, chaos. But in the middle of it all, Chen moved. Not lost in the fight, above it. The tiger struck on his command, holding the strongest boars in place. The wolf was already behind enemy lines, disrupting, breaking formation. He's controlling everything. From the opposite side, the Boar King watched, calm, observing. Good. Because this was worth his time. He stepped forward, and the battlefield changed. The boars surged, faster, stronger, not wild anymore, directed. Chen felt it instantly. So this is your control. Their eyes met across the battlefield. Distance didn't matter. They both knew. This was the real fight. Stay, Chen said quietly. The tiger growled, but obeyed. Because this wasn't for it. Chen stepped forward alone. Through the chaos, through the war, until he stood face to face with the Boar King. Silence. For just a moment, the battlefield seemed to fade. You're him, the Boar King spoke first, the one with beasts. Chen nodded slightly. And you, a pause, are the one with numbers. A faint smile. Not bad. They circled slowly. No rush, no wasted movement. Because both understood, one mistake would end everything. The Boar King moved first. A single step, and the ground shattered beneath him. He appeared in front of Lu Chen, faster than expected. A punch, heavy. Lu Chen blocked. Impact. The force pushed him back several steps. Strong. The Boar King smirked. And you're fast. Lu Chen didn't respond. Instead, he moved. Speed of the wolf, power of the tiger, combined. He struck. The Boar King barely reacted in time. Blocking, but sliding back. Interesting. This wasn't one-sided, not like the others. They clashed again. Faster, harder, blow after blow, shockwaves spreading outward. The ground cracked beneath them. Buildings collapsed nearby. Around them, the war continued. But no one dared approach, because this was something else entirely. Lu Chen stepped back slightly, breathing steady, but focused. He's stronger than expected. The Boar King rolled his shoulders. You're not bad either. A pause. Then both smiled, because they understood the same thing. This fight wouldn't end quickly, and only one would walk away. H2, Chapter 19, Breaking Limits. There was no holding back anymore. The moment their second clash ended, both of them understood. This wasn't a battle of skill alone, it was a battle of limits. The Boar King moved first again, but this time, he didn't attack alone. He raised his hand, and the battlefield shifted. A dozen massive boars broke away from the main fight, charging directly toward Lu Chen. Not random, coordinated. So you use them like extensions. Lu Chen exhaled slowly. Fine. He stepped forward, and the connection ignited. The tiger roared, breaking through the front line to reach him. The wolf emerged from the shadows, silent, deadly. 3 forces, 1 will. The boars reached him first. Huge, fast. One lunged. Lu Chen sidestepped and struck. The impact cracked its skull, but didn't stop it instantly. Tougher than before. The second came from the side, tusks aimed at his ribs. The tiger intercepted, claws tearing into its body. The wolf moved next, slashing at joints, breaking its movement. Perfect coordination. But still, more came. 5, 7, 10. He's overwhelming us. Not stronger individually, but endless. Lu Chen's eyes sharpened. Then I end the source. He broke through the remaining boars, moving straight toward the Boar King. Speed pushed to the limit. The world blurred, but the Boar King was ready. I was waiting. He slammed his foot down. The ground exploded upward. A wave of force, stronger than before, crashing toward Lu Chen. This time, it hit. Lu Chen was thrown back, crashing through debris. Pain surged through his body. Real, heavy. He pushed himself up slowly. So, this is your full strength. The Boar King stepped forward. And you haven't even reached yours. A pause. Then, something changed. The Boar King raised both hands. And every boar on the battlefield stopped. For a single second, silence. Then, they roared. Energy surged through them. Their bodies expanded, muscles growing, eyes burning brighter. You're feeding them power. Lu Chen's expression darkened. Not just control, enhancement. Then I'll do the same. He closed his eyes. Not outward, inward. Tiger, strength. Wolf, speed. Both pushed further, beyond balance, beyond control. Pain hit instantly. His body trembled. Limits breaking. Too much. The tiger's voice echoed. "Stop." The wolf followed. "You'll collapse." Lu Chen didn't listen, because this was the moment. Not enough. The connection deepened. Merged. Not separate anymore. One. His eyes opened. Different. Cold. Sharp. The world slowed completely. Every movement clear. Every breath controlled. He moved and vanished. The Boar King's eyes widened. For the first time. What? Too late. Lu Chen appeared in front of him. A strike. Faster than anything before. Impact. The Boar King was thrown back, crashing through multiple structures. Silence. Even the battlefield paused. Lu Chen stood still, breathing heavy now. His body, straining, cracks forming beneath his skin. But his eyes, unshaken. This is my limit. And he had broken it. In the distance, the Boar King rose slowly, blood running down his face, but smiling. Good. Because now, the fight was real. Chapter 20. King of Beasts. The battlefield had gone quiet, not because the war had ended, but because everything now depended on two people. Two kings. Lu Chen stood still, his breathing heavy, his body trembling under the strain. Cracks spread faintly across his skin, like something inside him was breaking through. Across from him, the Boar King stepped out of the rubble. Blood covered his face, but his posture, still steady, still unbroken. So this is your limit. His voice was calm. Lu Chen didn't deny it. For now. Silence. The red moon hung above them, watching. Then, they moved. No more testing, no more hesitation. Everything, in a single moment. The Boar King struck first. A full-force attack, the ground beneath him collapsing from the pressure. Lu Chen met him head-on. Tiger's strength, wolf's speed, merged completely. Their fists collided. The impact split the battlefield. Shockwaves tore through the air. Nearby fighters, human and beast alike, were thrown back. They didn't stop. Strike after strike. Movement beyond normal perception. Lu Chen adapted, reading every motion, predicting every attack. The Boar King countered, using brute force and overwhelming pressure. Two different styles, clashing endlessly. But slowly, something changed. The Boar King began to slow, not by much, but enough. Because his power relied on many, and many were falling. Behind him, his boars were dying. The tiger dominating the strongest, the wolf destroying coordination. His army was weakening. "You're losing control," Lu Chen said quietly. The Boar King's eyes sharpened. "And you're breaking." Both statements true. Lu Chen's body shook again. Pain surged, limits screaming. But this time, he didn't push further. He adjusted, controlled it, used just enough. And that made the difference. He moved. One step. Perfect timing. He slipped past the Boar King's defense. For the first time, a clean opening. Now, the final strike landed. Direct, unstoppable. The Boar King froze. For a moment, nothing moved. Then, he fell. Silence. Complete. The battlefield stopped. Every remaining beast, every surviving human, all eyes on one man. Lu Chen stood there, breathing slowly, his body still trembling, but standing. The Boar King lay on the ground, barely conscious. He looked up at Lu Chen. This is the difference. No anger, no hatred, just understanding. Lu Chen didn't respond. He stepped forward, looked down at him. "You chose the wrong path. Numbers alone aren't enough." Maybe. And then it ended. Silence spread across the battlefield. Heavy. Final. Moments later, Chen stood alone at the center, the tiger beside him, the wolf in the shadows. The war was over. He looked out across the land. Broken, burned, but his. Behind him, the survivors slowly approached, not speaking, not questioning, because they already knew. There was only one ruler now. Chen raised his head slightly, looking at the red moon. This is just the beginning. Because beyond this, stronger enemies would come. Bigger threats, unknown evolutions, and deeper limits to break. But for now, there was a name spreading across the land. A title, not given, earned.